Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the iRacing Esports. Now, welcome to Japan, to Okayama International Circuit for the latest race meeting in the BSR MX5 Pro Series. As always, 4 races coming up for you tonight with the reverse grid to factor into the equation as well. And in the commentary box, two voices that you probably haven't heard for on this kind of broadcast. Joining me, alongside me, Adam Bath from the BSR TC on a Thursday and from the World GT Championship on this very YouTube channel, is Ritmatech Sportscar Series commentator, among other things, Tyler Maxson. And Tyler, we've kind of met in the middle here. You from the States, me from the UK. We've gone over to the Far East to Japan and to the Mazda MX5 Pro Series. It should be a good evening tonight.
Yeah, it should be an absolutely awesome evening. This is an absolutely amazing track to race these cars at. This is such a challenging track. Just looking through the times, we're seeing such variance in times. I think we're going to see some good battling those. There's a lot of really close times towards the front. I think this should be an absolutely awesome race.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Haven't seen too many races at this Okayama circuit in recent times, but it should still be good. And of course, with it being 4 races, it's going to be pretty quick paced. And of course, the reverse grid's factored into the equation as well. So expect to see a lot of mix-up throughout the evening. I'll be very surprised if we get the same race winner twice. Qualifying session is just coming to an end now. It's Adam Delmont that currently leads the way with Marcello Payan in second. Then it's Adam McNally, Brian Holmes, Ash Beard, Dave Hampson, Charlie Summers, Niels Carstensen, Martin Plowman, and then Lorne Murray, the top rounding out the top 10 here. We'll do a full run down of the grid in a moment when we get down to the grid. But just looking at the split, obviously we expect in qualifying, Tyler, it to be mostly pros at the top, but a lot of AMs in this field today. And when we get the reverse grid, factor the reverse grid into the equation, it's going to make this grid pretty mixed up.
Yeah, definitely going to mix up the grids. It always does. It's something that I always enjoy watching, to see the drivers that are, that just previously won the race, now had to start from the back and to work their way forward. Definitely shows who has really got the pace of the track and whether they can just run at the front, whether they've really got the pace to lead and move forward in the race. It's definitely something to always keep an eye out for. It's also something really interesting to watch.
Indeed it is. We're getting ready to go then. Adam Delmont starts on the pole. Second is Marcello Payan. Then it's Adam McNally in third. Brian Holmes fourth. Ash Beard in fifth. 4 of the top 5 Rexite racing cars. Then it's SimLab's Dave Hampson in sixth. Then it's Charlie Summers. Then it's Niels Carstensen, Martin Plowman in ninth, and Lorne Murray, the top AM, as we were saying there, rounding out the top 10. 11th is Peter Van Gool. Then it's Carl Jacquelet in 12th. 13th on the grid is Nick McCarron. Then it's Mikey Key in 14th. Billy Rose 15th. 16th Rob Graham. Martin Wortman. Then it's Gregory Vranks. Then it's Cesaro Rizzo. Then it's Carl Hardy. And then moving on even further back, it's Andy Maxwell, Ben Mears, Jeroen Ursum, Josh Rayfield, Tyler Vickery there, commentating on the Ritmatech Sportscar Series last night. Then it's Scott Malcolm in 28th. 29th for Alex Perkis. Then we've got Dale Benison, Craig Cameron, Alex Journey starting at the back there, the first of the cars not to set a time. It'll be interesting to see his progress during the evening. So too for Steve Hefford, Luke Cooper, James McRitchie there for Asymmetric starting in 35th, with Jamie Ayres right behind him in 36th, and then we just keep going. Kip Stevens, Max Wright, Jack Ashton, Roy Verke, Craig Jones, Michael Barry, David Ayres, Liam Silkston, and then rounding out the rest of the field, it's Jason Cooper, Car 1, and then it's Anthony Ainsworth. Here we go. Perfect timing. Ready for the first race of the day here at Okayama.
Yeah, as the lights are going on and the lights are out, and away they go here in Okayama for race 1. It's looking like a pretty clean start so far. Everyone kind of staying 2 by 2 as they head down into turn number 1. It will be Delmont that will lead. Brian Holmes, as you can see there on your screen, he will slot into 4th. They're all keeping it pretty clean, though, as they head through turns 1 and 2. We're not really seeing too many positions being gained or lost at the start. But back here at Handy, he's going to be 2 by 2.
Oh, drama at the back, isn't there, Tyler? That's one of the cars around. That's Alex Perkis in the normalised racing car. He started in about 30th place, but he has encountered some drama already, and he's got a lot of ground to make up as the field starts to begin slipstreaming onto the back straight.
Yeah, a lot of drivers here in this field. As we look back here at Delmont, there Delmont goes. Delmont will try to make a move for the lead, and I think he will get it. So Delmont up into the lead, Pregan down into second. So those two swap positions there for the lead as we head down through one of the tightest and twistiest sections on this racetrack.
One of the tightest and twistiest sections on iRacing in general, probably. This is really, really tough for any car to get through, including Mazda MX5s. But Adam Delmont doing well in the early stages. Moved there up the inside. Martin Plowman in the Fury Simsport car getting by Niels Carstensen in the Swift Cooper Esports car. So place gains for car 86 in the early going. He's a bit of a way behind this opening group at the front as they come around the final corner now to get lap 1 in the books. As you can see, it's a 15-minute race. 4 15-minute races here in the BSR MX5 Pro Cup if you're new to it. And over the line's completely opening lap. It's Delmont leading, then it's Marcello Pagnon in second, then it's Brian Holmes, then it's Adam McNally, Dave Hampson, and Charlie Summers and Ash Beard rounding out that opening group. Biggest mover, as we can see so far from at least the top 20, Tyler. It's Maxwell and it's also Rizzo, both of them gaining 4th places in the early going.
Yeah, those drivers able to make up some spots here in the early going. Rizzo is currently in 15th, Maxwell in 19th, so they are starting to make their way up the grid. This is not a bad position for them to be in, though. Whenever you counter in the reverse grid that we will have next race, could be a factor there, as we're on board now with Rob Graham, as he is going to try and make the move now on McNearen and try at the end of the long back straightaway here, but he's not in the slipstream right now. I think he may be trying to defend here from Mauricio as they head down into the hairpin now, and Mauricio now going to try to go up 2 positions there.
Yeah, good move. Oh, nearly got it done there. Graham going into the back of him and getting a bit of front end damage there. Oh, and he might nearly go into the back of him again, going through the 2 90-degree left-handers. Thinks better of it. Adam Delmont continues to lead, even though the gap was coming down quite a bit at the front, down the back straight. You'd expect that with the slipstreaming. Graham up again, and that is contact, and that is Rizzo sliding about, and that's going to allow Billy Rose in the Northern Ice Racing car to take advantage now. And you can really see here. Beautiful. Yeah, you can see here, Tyler, on the outside. If you can get it done on the outside, you can easily get the slingshot, and that's what Billy Rose is trying to do here.
Yeah, trying to make that move, but beautiful save by Mauricio to get that car back straight, not lose it through the hairpin there. But he has got Rose all on the back of him now as they head down the front straightaway. He will look to the inside Rose will, but he will think better of it. 6 slots back in position there. As we look now back up to 5th, at Dave Hampson. He has got Summers all over the back of him now. As they head down the little short straightaway in the Sweep Cooper Esports car is Summers as they head up the hill now through the sweeping right-hander up the hill. One of the most tricky corners on this entire track, because if you overcharge this corner, it's really easy to get just a terrible run down the back straightaway, which is not something that you want here, considering it is such a long straightaway.
Look at this battle for lead as well. Adam Delmont versus Marcello Pagnon up the inside, but breaks a little bit early. Does Marcello in second. He's now feeling the pressure from Brian Holmes, Excite Racing driver in third, and then it's his teammate Adam McNally in 4th. And just looking here from the helicopter, you can see how close this battle really is in the early going, and how much of this race has already gone by. We're already almost a third of the way through it. And now going into the final sector, the tight and twisty section we were just mentioning earlier. You can see Delmont going for the wide entry, then cutting in, and trying to get the best possible exit going into the final 2 corners. This final corner at Okayama, Tyler, is quite a quick one, so the entry and exit speed is pretty important if you want to try and get a move done down the front straight.
Yeah, while it's definitely important to carry the speed through the corner, it's also better to get the run down the straightaways. We can see a couple drivers off there in the background, but Delmont leads, Pegan second, Holmes in third, and then the 2 Excite Racing cars are in 3rd and 4th right now, so that could play a big factor towards the end of the race if those 2 can just play teammate to each other and try and get to the lead and possibly try to push away here if they're able to get the guys behind start to battle. But right now, the Excite is 1, 3, and 4 out of the top 5. So they currently hold 3 out of the top 5 spots. That definitely can be played to their advantage towards the end of this race.
And you can see from the intervals on the left-hand side of your screen that there's literally nothing separating everybody here. Less than a second separating most of the cars in the field, and this could get interesting now. Brian Holmes has got a good exit on the right-hander onto the back straight here, and now he's going to give the bump draft to Adam Delmont, but it's officially Marcello that's in the lead here. He's on the outside going into the right-hander. Is he going to be able to use the camber to try and pull alongside? Delmont, just as he was on the previous lap, is much later on the brakes and is able to get his Mazda MX5 with the green wheels back in front. And this is just allowing even more and more cars to get involved in this scrap, Tyler, because we've now probably got, I'd say, the top 10 all involved in this mighty scrappers. Who's that coming under pressure? That is Triple Eight. That's Dave Hampson trying to apply the pressure on McNally now.
Yeah, so Hampson trying to put some pressure on McNally to see if he can't make a little bit of a mistake, but I believe he will also possibly he will now lose a position to Charlie Summers, so Summers will go right around the outside of him, so he's going to lose a spot there, but
That's how quickly things could change, isn't it, on this final sector, the way this track ebbs and flows with the left-hand hairpin followed by the right-hander. And then the final two corners as well, over the line onto lap 5, 7 minutes in the books here. It's Delmont leading, then it's Pagnin in second, then it's Brian Holmes, then it's Adam McNally, then it's Charlie Summers, and Dave Hampson, Ash Beard, Martin Plowman and Niels Carstensen running out the top 10. Top AM is still Law Murray. But what about the top driver overall? It's very close going through the quick S's here. Circuit host of the Pacific Grand Prix 94-95. Now Delmont is going to feel the pressure again from the Swift Cooper Esports car coming onto the back straight. Let's have a look from the gearbox of this Mazda MX-5. You can see a huge gaggle of cars, a swarm of Mazda MX-5s looking this way and that, trying to find the best toe and try and find the best line going into the hairpins to try and get the move done here. Look how close they all are now.
Yeah, and Delmont's going to take that inside line like he has been, just defending that position as much as he can from Pegan. As you saw Pegan kind of look to the outside, but just kind of thought better of it because he did have Brian Holmes right up on his bumper looking into the inside to see if he couldn't get that move done, as he is still the top three, super close. They go side by side a little bit further back out of McNally. He will defend from Summers, but Summers possibly going to get him into the next corner. No, McNally is going to defend nicely, so they are going to stay as they were.
What we're seeing here, Tyler, is a lot of slipstreaming, but not a lot of passing. Whereabouts are the key overtaking points on this circuit, do you reckon?
Well, definitely a great overtaking spot. If you can get your car to the inside or the outside, or you get a good enough run to do so, is going down into turn number 1, as we're going to see your leader, Delmont. He's going to be all over the racetrack trying to break that slipstream because this is such a good passing opportunity. Going at the end of the back straightaways, another great passing opportunity, and pretty much anywhere through that final sector, if you can get the car to the inside, you can make a pass there. There's not, I don't think, even one corner there where you couldn't make a pass if you needed to.
Really is, and we're seeing a lot of cars moving about on the front straight to try and stop a car getting a tow. And going into the right-hander now, onto the back straight again. You can see from the red dots on the map where the sector points are. Very long opening sector here. As we go onto the back straight again, you can see Delmont moving over to the right, now moving over to our left. It'll be his right. And only Marcello is the one following him. No use trying to fake a move, do a move which isn't going to happen. And now you can see all the way back to Law Murray in 10th place. The Team Automech Knock Hill Mazda MX-5 has now joined the party too. So we've got the top 10 all in the same battle. And then you can see it's about 3.4 seconds back to the next car in the field. And that is Carl Jacquelet. He is currently sitting in second in the Pro-Am categories. Up the inside goes Summers. He's trying to get past McNally here, but he's not going to be able to get it done there unless he can carry the speed around the outside. This is what I was trying to explain earlier on, but it just doesn't work out that time. And you can see there McNally was wise to it just at the right time, Tyler, and cut across to stop that MX-5 of Charlie Summers getting the run on the outside.
Yeah, and it's definitely one of the more difficult corners to make the move at this track because you would go up to 2 right-hand corners. If you're trying to make that move around the outside, you're going to have to pretty much, if you don't get it done there, hold around the outside for 3 corners then, including that one that you just went through. So it's just such a difficult place to make the pass, and it's something where it's better just to kind of let off like Charlie Summers did and get up in behind, as you're going to lose a whole lot less time.
looking at them going through the long opening first sector. You can see Peter Van Gorland and Billy Rose both going off. That's on the exit of turn 2. The gravel here isn't too punishing, so you will see quite a few of the cars using it to their advantage. It's a bit like the exit of Paddock Hill at Brands, where you can do it and pretty much get away with it. And they are doing that in the early going. You'll also have noticed that if their number flashes up in red on the timing screen, that means they've gone off the circuit. Delmont versus Pagnon, then into the left-hander at the end of the back straight. McNally versus Summers too. Plenty of battles going on here, and it looks like Summers has got it done around the outside. That is a fantastic move by the Swift Cooper Esports car, and he's through finally into 4th place. 3 positions gained for him, and the problem for Marcello. He's lost 2nd place to Brian Holmes, and this looks like slowdown penalty, doesn't it, Tyler?
Yeah, I believe that's a slowdown penalty for him. That's going to cost him big time. They're going to make some contact there on the edge of the corner. I believe that was Beard and Pegan, so that is going to, again, lose even more time as they go through that one as well. I would like to make a little bit, as we're going to watch a little bit of a replay here and just see if we can't figure out what went wrong down into the hairpin for him. So just going to ride on board with him now. See, I believe he cut possibly the inside of the second left-hander. No, it was actually the inside of the first the left-hander, sorry. So yeah, that is where he got that slowdown for sure, but that's going to cost him big time.
It doesn't look like much from that onboard camera, but it is enough. And Paul Marcello, he's down to 7th place now. 3 drivers that we haven't really talked about much because we've been focusing so much at the front of the field is this guy, Steve Hefford. He's up 15 places, the SimLab driver, as he goes off there through turn 2. He's up to 18th place. Jamie Ayres, another driver that started the back of the grid, the Welshman, he's up 15 places too. And then Jack Ashton, a little bit further back in the Excite racing car, he has gained 15 places up to 24th place. And when we've got the reverse grid to come as well, Tyler, this is going to be really beneficial for these guys because they may not be getting towards the front, but they are getting themselves into contention for when we spin that wheel, and they could find themselves towards the front of the grid for one of the upcoming races that we've got later.
Yeah, definitely not something to ever play out. Drivers that can go up 15 places and just short of a race. We're only 13 minutes into this race, think to keep that in mind. There's only 2 minutes left, but these races are so short that if you can make up 15 spots in that short amount of a time, then you are obviously doing quite well. As you can see, Dave Hampson battling right now with Martin Plowman, Neelis Carson. That battle of probably about 5 cars there going absolutely at it through the chicanes.
God. Oh, Hampson very nearly turned around there. He must have been watching my go-karting driving on Saturday. And behind him is Martin Plowman, who's going all sorts of all over the place. They're all going off through the final corner. Hampson grass tracking, going all over the gravel in his pursuits to stay ahead, which are paying off for now. But now Marcello Pagnon is in 6th place. He's got one of his teammates, Niels Carstensen, trying to get by here going into the first corner. It's Martin Plowman that he's in a battle with, and number 86 on the inside is going to get done around the outside here, surely by Carstensen. Let's see if he gets it done. Oh, turned across him and he had to get on the brakes there. That was very close to an unfortunate accident, which thankfully didn't happen. And now Plowman's got Lorne Murray to deal with, as well as it closes back up at the front again. And this is the final lap, Tyler.
Yeah, going on now, working on the final lap. You can see Brian Holmes. They are working together, and I believe that is Charlie Summers just behind. And I believe it will still be Delmont, as Summers is going to try to go around the outside once again out of the back straightaway hairpin there. And you can see that may be a slowdown penalty for Holmes, as he was way up over the curb. That looked kind of like what happened to Pegan again, and Summers is out on the grass.
Got contact between those two. You could see the perfect cutback there by Holmes to get that done. What it has done, though, has meant that Adam Delmont crucially has a 3/4 of a second advantage with just a couple of corners to go, and I think that's going to be enough for him to get the opening race victory of the day here. He's coming into the final corner now. He's led from the front. Many tried to pass him, but they have failed here in race 1. Checker flag is out, and Adam Delmont is going to win the opening race here in the BSR MX5 at Okayama. 2nd for Brian Holmes, 3rd for Charlie Summers. Lorne Murray is somewhere in that group, Tyler, and he's going to come through and take the Pro-Am victory as well.
Yeah, he's going to come home to take the prime victory. That's a nice drive from him, as we're seeing drivers sort of fan out, but that is after the flag. So we're seeing quite a bit of drivers. Pretty much everyone now in the top 20 is finished. So, yeah, great drive there by Delmont. Holmes comes home in second and Summers in third. That is very, very close racing all the way through here. The biggest gap, though, that we were seeing is 1.9 seconds back to McNally. So that's quite a big gap, considering everything that was going on. Just such a dogfight in this first race here of the night. So should be an interesting one going into the next few races, especially with the reverse grid. That should prove very crucial for some of these drivers.
Yeah, it's a good analogy, I think, for what we've got on our hands here. Many dogs going at it here in Japan, and I'm sure when we get the full results up in a moment now, we'll see how close the whole field was, because as everybody has now crossed the line, we can bring those results to you. Here they are, as we get some shots of the fans. Adam Delmont wins by just 0.6 of a second in the end. Brian Holmes finishing in second. Then it's Charlie Summers, just a tenth of a second behind Brian. Then it's Anna McNally in fourth. Then Marcello Pagnon in fifth. The Italian trying to get the lead for the first part of the race, but ended up picking up a slowdown penalty and dropping back. Ash Beard, veteran of the Mazda MX5, finishing in sixth. And then seventh place for Dave Hampson. Then Nick Carstensen. Martin Plowman in ninth, and the top driver, Lorne Murray, finishing in 10th. SimLabs, Nick McCarron finishing in 11th. Then it's Carl Jacquelet, Rob Graham in 13th. Then we've got a trio of SimLab cars. We've got Steve Hefford, Pierre Van Galen, Cesare Rizzo. Good job by Hefford. Started at the back, didn't set a time, and he was able to pip his teammate Van Gaal to the flag by just 0.03 of a second. Stuart Dick finishing in 17th. Then Gregory Vranks, the Belgian, in 18th place. 19th for Jack Ashton, and Jamie Ayres a couple of tenths behind in 20th. 21st for Carl Hardy and Mark Wortman, two Pro-Am drivers there. Luke Cooper in 23rd, and 24th for Ben Mears. Craig Cameron in 25th. Kip Stevens, two-time BSR TC champion, finishing in 26th place. And Joe McDonald, the American, in 27th, sorry. Added an extra 10 places to you there, Joe. And then Jerome Ursum, Andy Maxwell. Then it's Max Wright, Alex Scherney, the German, finishing in 31st. Then Scott Malcolm, Michael Barry, two teammates there in 32nd and 33rd. James McRitchie and Liam Silkston, not able to make too many gains from the back of the field. And then Craig Jones in 36th. And then the rest of the field, Josh Rayfield, Roy Faverke, Dale Bennison, Alex Perkis, David Ayres, Billy Rose, not able to make too many of those places back after the spin on the opening lap. Then Tyler Vickery, Mikey Key, Jason Cooper, and Anthony Ainsworth, 9 laps down. And on average, really, if you look at the gaps, Tyler, we pretty much had on average about a second covering each car in a field spread of 40. That's not too bad going as we get set for the reverse grid.
Yeah, definitely not a bad, very close battles pretty much everywhere. What I was about to say was a bad gaps, really. I'm saying pretty much everyone's super close all the way through the field. It's such close racing. I mean, any small mistake like we saw a couple of the drivers make can cost you a big time, as we saw. You got to just be such on your game for 15 minutes if you want any chance of getting a good result here in the end.
Yeah, Marcello Pagnon being the biggest loser from all of that. He ended up dropping down the order after that slowdown penalty. Right, it is time for the reverse grid, the first reverse grid of the day. We've got 3 of them to get through. And let's get it up now and spin the wheel. There it is. And let's find out who's going to be on pole for the second race of the day here at Okayama. It's going to be a big one. It's the biggest one we could get. It is full -1. So basically that means the last classified driver, Mikey Key. It's the next driver after that, and lo and behold, it's Tyler Lugo Vickery that's going to be on the pole for the second race, with Billy Rose second, David Ayres third, Alex Perkis fourth, and Dale Bennison in fifth. We couldn't have asked for a bigger reverse grid, Tyler. Literally, pretty much the entire field, bar 3 cars, are going to be reversed for this second race.
Yeah, and absolutely a big reverse grid, so that means that Tyler Vickery will be on the pole. unfortunate there for Mikey Key, the only driver who wasn't reversed in that grid, but that means that the drivers who just won are going to be the drivers that are going to start all the way in the back from the next race. So that's going to be really, really big for them. See how much they can move up, considering we have such a large grid here tonight, nearly 40 cars, I think. 43 cars. So that's going to be a real big challenge for them.
We can't wait for it. It's the second race of the day. It's coming up after the break here on the iRacing Esports Network, the BSR MX5 Pro Series at Okayama. We'll see you in a minute.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Welcome back to the BSR MX5 series. We're here at Okayama, here on the iRacing Esports Network, and getting set for the second race of the day. We've got the biggest reverse grid we could possibly ask for, a 4-1. And as we take a quick look at the grid before we get going, Tyler Maxson, it's a lot of Pro-Ams in the top 10. So a good opportunity for these guys to get potentially an overall win here.
Yeah, great opportunity for these guys. Go ahead and run through the grid for you. Tyler Vickery starts on the pole alongside Billy Rose, David Eras, and Parker Parks. And Alex Parquez, make up row number 2. Dale Benson and Roy Valkyrie, I believe is how you pronounce that, make up row number 3. Josh Rayfield and Craig Jones, 7th and 8th. Liam Kilstone in 9th. James McReachy in 10th. Michael Barkay in 11th, Scott Malcolm in 12th, and we're just about getting ready to go here in the BSR MX5 Pro Championship. 5 lights are on, and they are a go here in BSR, here in Okayama, and it's pretty much a fanned-out start down into turn number 1. Tyler Vickery will lead them down into turn 1. I believe Rose will follow in 2nd. Perkins will move up now to 3rd. Now Eris up to 3rd. So they're starting to get slicey and dicey through the field.
Oh, and off into the wall goes Tyler Bennison, or very nearly did anyway. So too David Ayres in the Result Clothing car 666, dropping down the order like a stone here in the early going. But it's all go for the lead. Lugo Vickery versus Billy Rose for the lead here. Vickery in the blue 124 car, Billy Rose in the 2nd place. Now he's had to slot in behind, and now the slipstreaming can begin down the back straight. Let's see if Billy Rose could try and get the lead. But look at that in the background. There's about 5 or 6 cars wide going down the back straight, but this is what we're focusing on here. It's going to be Tyler Vickery that just about holds on for the lead. Let's see if everybody else here can get through the hairpin without incident, Tyler.
Yeah, as they all make their way through the hairpin, they're 2 and 3 wide into that hairpin. One of the tightest corners on the racetrack, and they're still taking it 2 and 3 wide as look further and further back here at some of these cars. I think I heard a little bit of contact a little bit further up, but I didn't see anything. Big crash. That's going to be 4, 5, 6 cars involved.
Many cars involved here, and I think we might have just about got away without a full course yellow. A lot of cars having to tow back to the pits. Joe McDonald's involved, Carl Hardy involved, and they're still trying to get the cars going. Michael Waterman, Stuart Dick, Jamie Ayres, David Ayres, different spellings, both all struggling here, and you can see them all filtering down the order now. Over the line to complete the opening lap, then it's Tyler Vickery. It's Roy Verke going for the lead on Tyler Vickery. Through goes the Team Automek Knock Hill car, and the Belgian leads. More cars going off the circuit. Oh, there's contact in the first corner between Craig Jones and what looked like potentially Dale Bennison. So problem for all of those guys already, and seeing a lot of chaos in the opening lap. Let's see if we can get a replay of what caused this mess in the 2nd sector. Let's see if we can let's see if this provides any. Oh, well, it started before we got there, and then cars in the middle of the circuit, and it all went pear-shaped from there. Let's see if this helps. Ash Beard we're looking at here. This is the Excite racing car. He's going to come through the right hand. There's already a car on the outside. Then it all kicks off again, and Ash Beard, one of the other cars involved, in fact, yeah, he picks up front right damage. So that's as best as we can see from what's gone on. But in the meantime, at the end of the opening lap, Tyler, it's Verke leading, then it's Vickery in 2nd, then it's Perkis in 3rd, Rayfield 4th, Michael Barry in 5th, then it's Silkstone, then it's Sione, then it's Stevens, then it's Luke Cooper and Scott Malcolm, and a lot of beneficiaries from this. If you look at the positions gained, look all the way down at Charlie Summers in 90th. He's gained 22 places in the opening lap.
Yeah, he's gained quite a few places in the opening lap. It's a great charge forward for Summers. Up in the 19th place. He was one of the drivers that possibly could have taken the win in the last race. I wouldn't be surprised if he is able to get another good result here in this race. He's now going to move up 23 as one other driver topples down the grid order there. But yeah, like you said, Verke leads over Vickery, so he is going to, I think, going to start to pull out a little bit of a gap as he already has over Vickery. So we'll see how that develops. And then those two have a little bit of a gap back to 3rd place of Parkus. So as we look a little bit further back now, Hefford sets the fastest lap of the race at 144.632, so he is just in this battle for 12th place right now. They're pretty much all in about a 10-car line all the way back there.
Yeah, Steve Hefford's done a good job, getting 15 places again, starting towards the rear of the field, and just a little bit further up through the field. Look at this, 3 wide then. Let's have a look from the helicopter. This is Barry Purkis and I believe Josh Rayfield. This could get pretty interesting going into the right-hander. Who's that trying to look up the inside as well? That's Luke Silkston. They all go wide. They all go wide, and Alex Yearney's there to say thank you very much. He's up to 4th place now, leaving Silkstone, Stevens and Rayfield to carry on their battle. Over the grass and over the gravel goes the pink 2029. That's Stevens. Out wide, slowdown penalty for not for Josh Rayfield, a slowdown penalty for Luke Cooper potentially. No, I think it might have been actually Josh Rayfield. He's dropping down the order, and he might even have towed back to the pits. Not too sure what's happened there to Josh Rayfield, but nonetheless he's had some sort of an issue as Silkstone and Barry now go into battle time.
Yeah, so Silkstone and Barry, they are going at it as they head through the final corner now. We'll see whether Barry can get a run on him down the front straightaway. This is kind of a very long front straightaway here at Okayama, so it's a great drafting opportunity for these drivers, but just don't think he got a good enough exit yet. He's just kind of maintaining there, and he's actually having a block now from Stevens, who goes around the outside, I believe, on Barry.
Yeah, he disappeared. He disappeared for a brief moment there, then reappeared, and nearly caused total chaos. But Ben Mears, speaking of, is dropping down the order. What's happened to him? Oh, he's off in the first corner, and he's joined by number 43. That's Craig Jones. Let's see what's happened to cause this this moment here. So this is a replay down the front straight. Craig Jones is the yellow and white car. You can see him on the outside. Oh, he's going to get completely collected by number 13, Mears there.
And it just does the ripple effect down the field. So we'll now focus back here on Alex Perkins. So I believe he is going to be trying to defend here, possibly from, yes he is, and he's going to lose another spot to Steve Hefford, who's now at 19 positions in this race. So we're seeing a lot of positions being gained by all these drivers in this race as he's battling now Kip Steffens and Jack Ashton. There are one, and they were also joined by Liam Silkstone, 2x2 behind them. And I believe that will be Max Wright, who will move up another position, now up 5 positions in this race. Steve Hefford, though, 19 positions up, so he is in that yellow SimLabs car there. So we will ride on board here with Michael Berry as he works his way through the final 2 corners. He's pushed out a little bit wide. It
looks like he's got damage. Just look at him when he goes onto the front straight, Tyler. The wheel's having to turn to the left.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of damage, I think, there to that front end of that Mazda. He is Steve Hefford to go back, to go up another position and up into P9. So Hefford now up 21 spots in this race. That's an absolute insane drive to the front for him.
Yeah, he's and Barry's really going to have to deal with the rest, try and do the rest of this race as calmly as he can, because that must be a bit of a handful. I tried to, when I did a Le Mans 24-hour race a couple of years ago, I tried to get a car back to the pits with bent steering. I ended up putting it in the wall and causing even more damage. He's just got to try and get to the end and then be hopefully in contention for the reverse grid as the 2 Northern Lights racing cars go into battle here. Craig Cameron and Alex Purkis is a bit further up the field. Tyler Vickery is under pressure from Alex Sherney here in the fight for second.
It's the fight for second there. Vickery is going to lose another place there to Alex Sherney in that Swift Cooper Esports car. Sherney up 11 positions now, so he's going to try and chase down Roy Veraski, I believe is how you pronounce that name.
Ververke. It's Tyler. Roy Ververke.
Not very good with names, as you can tell, but yeah, so Roy Ververke, he is going to try and close him down here. He's just 0.7 of a second behind him, so he does have the time to do it. And we still are just now working through lap 9, or just working now through lap 5. We'll get lap 6 here underway in just a moment, but he's got a little bit of a gap to start catching him, but I think he can do it if he just has the pace.
Don't worry, I see him every year, and I'm sure he tells me it's pronounced differently. But yeah, end of lap 5, starting lap 6, 2/3 race distance, and it's Verke now that leads us a 1 second advantage over Sherney in second. He did a 44.5 on that last lap, a second quicker than Verke did Sherney. So we'll see if he can close that gap in the final third of the race. Jack Ashton's gained 21 spots. He's now up in 4th, and Michael Barry, off into the wall goes Delmont, the race 1 winner, off. And not too sure if Barry could do anything about that. But what he has done is inflicted a lot of damage on Adam Delmont's car. Barry, we spoke earlier, Tyler, he had that damage to the front of his Mazda, which was causing it to crab a little bit. And what he's definitely done is he's inflicted that virus on Adam Delmont now. His car is completely bent steering going down this straight now.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate there from Adam Delmont. Was the winner of last race. Obviously, he had to start last in this race. I believe he just started ahead of everybody that finished but Mikey Key. So, unfortunate for him. Gets put into the walls. We're looking now at this battle between Liam Silkstone and Steve Hefford. Hefford, I believe, is going to keep that position. No, Liam Silkstone, sorry, is going to keep that position around the outside. But they are still very, very close as they round into the first of the 2 back-to-back hairpins.
Yeah, good battle this. Hefford up the inside. Oh, now Silkstone for me was a bit half-hearted in turning in there, and he almost invited Hefford the opportunity to go up the inside going into the left-hander. He's still there though. Oh, a little bit of rub, nearly a quarter panel too. And you can see from the gap as well at the front, it's down to half a second between Verke and Alex Sherney, down to 4 tenths in fact. So in the space of a lap, Sherney has closed in 8 tenths of a second on Roy Verke here, so it's going to be a scrap for the lead in a couple of moments time. But let's quickly see the conclusion of this scrap. There's Silkstone up the inside, the Irishman with the Irish tricolour on the front of his car. I believe that's what you call it. I'm sure that's just not exclusive to France. Silkstone through, and Hefford in 7th place is the next car in front as Ashton and Vickery now fight over the final spot on the podium, and it's just 3 tenths, Tyler, between Sherney and Verke as they go onto the back straight now on lap 7. When we get to the line, there's just going to be two to go.
Yeah, so Sherney really closing up on Verke. We're still looking at this battle here for third. Vickery all over the back of Ashton. He's got just about 2 tenths per second separating them as they head down into the hairpin. He won't go for a move though. Believe right now, it's here the battle for the lead now is starting to heat up between Verke and Sherney. So watching that battle as they head through down into one of the tightest sections in iRacing as they head into the complex of the first hairpin, then into the second. Verke blocks to the inside. Sherney's going to try it on the outside, not going to work for him. Maybe leave him the room. He isn't going to go for it. Verke is going to keep that lead now as we head up to the line. Just 2 corners to go until we head up to the line now for 2 laps to go.
Bet Roy would have been hoping there was just be 1 lap to go, but no, he's got to hold on for another 2 laps. He did some good defensive driving there to keep Alex Sherney at bay in the Swift Cooper Esports car. Let's see if he can keep that up. Over the line we go. 2 to go. 1:45.8 for Verke, 45.6. Alex Sherney already looking this way and that over the back of all over the back of Roy Verke here, and if Roy can just hold him up a little bit more, he might allow Jack Ashton to come into the equation, because looking at the lap times last time around, Tyler, he was 8 tenths of a second quicker was Jack Ashton. But here we go, this could be the lead and this could be the race right here. Sherney up the inside, can Roy just hold it out on the outside? He's going to go for the ultra cutback here and maybe try and use the slipstream. At least that's what I thought. We're going to have to wait and see whether he can close back in the 4 tenths of a second down the back straight now.
Yeah, he's already starting to close that gap. Now back down to 4 tenths of a second and grew all the way up to half. Now we're down to 3 tenths, so he's in the draft now. He does have this planned out pretty good, but he's just a little bit too far back there. And yeah, like you said, Jack Ashton now getting pretty much brought into this battle now, just 4 tenths of a second behind. So he's going to be in this battle for the win here in the second race of the BRS Championships here. Just this short 15-minute race. And he's already moved up 22 spots, so he has been on a charge forward here. As Ashton, though, is going to go down the inside of Verke, and he is going to get the move done. As Verke, though, big contact.
Wow. And through goes Jack Ashton. Has that done any lasting damage to the car? More importantly, looks like the wheel is pointing straight. And he might be able to continue. And he's got one lap to try and chase down Alex Sherney. Swift Cooper Esports looking to get the win here. It was in race 1 that Adam Delmont did it for the team for Excite. Now can Swift Cooper Esports get a win on the board here and send it into race 3. Final lap then. White flag in the air. It's Sherney, then it's Ashton, then it's Roy Verke, who's the top AM driver. But now he's under pressure from Kip Stevens, the 29 Swift Cooper Esports car, trying to get onto the podium too. Verke will try his utmost to maintain third. It's going to be tough because as we've seen so far, especially in this part of the circuit, the pro drivers have been able to get their own way, but Verke is putting up a good defensive drive now, and he's only got to do half a lap more, and he might be able to just get on that final spot on the podium, but they're going to go wheel to wheel down the back straight now.
Yeah, Steven's going to try the outside over Verke down into the hairpin. We'll see if he's going to be able to use the banking of that corner to his advantage and be able to get that move done. I believe he will. Yes, he will. He will get the move done, heading down into the pretty slow left-hander comparison to some of these corners on the track. But that battle for the lead, Jack Ashton just not close enough to make a move on Alex Sherney in the Swift Cooper Esports car. So if he can survive now for just 4 more corners, sorry, he will be able to come home for the win. But this is still a good battle here, just 0.3 of a second between Verke and Stevens. So those two still staying quite close as they head through the final sector now.
Very close indeed, but here they go into the final corner. It was Excite Racing that got the win in race 1. It's going to be Swift Cooper Esports that get the win in race 2. Courtesy of Alex Sherney. He's going to get it done here in race 2 at Okayama. Ashton second, Kip Stevens rounds out the podium. A commendable drive by Roy Verke to get 4th. Luke Cooper in 5th. Of course, Verke top am. Drag race to the line. And it's going to be Craig Cameron that gets 11th, just pipping Liam Silkston to 12th. Close battle here. This is between James McRitchie and Jerome Ursum. Excite Racing versus Asymmetric. And they were pretty much symmetric at the line. It was Ursum by 0.02 of a second. And I wonder how crucial that could be in terms of a potential reverse grid as the rest of the field comes across the line. Here is Adam Delmont. It looks like he's decided to soldier on, Tyler, after picking up that damage earlier, and he's going to come across the line and still stay on the lead lap, which could be crucial. If we get a full -1 again, it could be him on the pole again.
Yeah, that could prove big for him here. It's definitely a better idea for him if he can, like he has, try to just get the car to the end of the race, because he will, like you said, if we get a full -1, then he could find himself on the pole coming into the next race, which would be a great starting spot for him, would make it a lot easier for him to move up some spots. There's quite a bit of drivers who had some issues in this race. I believe we had 12 DNF finishes. Actually, I correct myself, 11 DNF finishes here. So just a lot of DNFs here in the final in this race. So yeah, like you said, if we can get a good reverse grid for him, then he will be in a great spot for the next race.
Quite a few cars DNFing. Not too sure about potential cars getting DSQ'd or not. I might have seen one getting done there, but we'll wait and see on that. So once we get some lovely shots of the back of people's heads. Let's get the race results up. Race victory for Alex Sherney. Jack Ashton in 2nd. Kip Stevens completes the podium. Then it's Roy Verke in 4th, led for so long. Then Luke Cooper, Tyler Vickery doing the Apex Racing TV commentary box good, and finishing in 6th. 7th for Charlie Summers. Then Steve Hefford in 8th. Martin Plowman 9th and 10th for Max Wright. 11th for Craig Cameron. 12th for Luke Silkston. 13th for Adam McNally. 14th Brian Holmes. Marcello Panion, the driver that was 2nd for quite a while in race 1, finishing in 15th. And 16th for Alex Perkis. Then Lorne Murray. Then Niels Carstensen. Then in 21st place, Gregory Vranks. 22nd for Cesare Rizzo. Then Jerome Ursum. Then James McRitchie. Then it's Dave Hampson, Jamie Ayres, Andy Maxwell. Then Dale Bennison, I should say. Billy Rose, Mikey Key, Scott Malcolm, Ben Mears, Adam Delmont, Peter Van Gool, and then the cars 2 laps down or more. The cars that didn't finish, it's Michael Barry, Rob Graham, and then it's even more. Craig Jones, Josh Rayfield, Ash Beard. Most of these cars involved in that melee on the opening lap. Michael Wortman, David Ayres, Joe McDonald, Carl Hardy, and Stuart Dick not getting going at all as we get the reverse grid up. We'll find out who's going to be on pole for the 3rd race of the day here at Okayama. Right, let's spin it and find out who's going to be on pole here. Well, I think Adam Delmont's going to want to thank us, Tyler. It's at 50, which obviously we can't do because there's not 50 cars on the grid. So I think we're going to have to go for the last classified finisher, which in this case is Peter Van Gool. So it's going to be him on the pole for race 3. Then it's Adam Delmont, then Ben Mears, Scott Malcolm, Mikey Key, and then Billy Rose. So I think Adam Delmont's going to be pretty happy with that one.
Yeah, definitely going to be happy with that one, considering that it's going to start quite a bit higher up the grid than where he finished in 34th. It's a great way for him. That's nice. It's definitely going to be good for Adam Delmont because he did finish the race. He will now start P2 in this race, so that'll be a good battle, I think, between him and Van Gool for the win in the next race. We'll see who can try to get their way up the grid, as we're now going to see a lot of these drivers who just previously won are going to have to make their way up the grid. Like they have, some of these drivers have done already in this race, so it'd be interesting to see.
Well, yeah, we're going to take a quick break and come back on the iRacing Esports Network for the 3rd race of the day here at Okayama. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Welcome back to Okayama, getting set for the third race of the day in the BSR MX5 Cup. Not too sure why the results are on the screen. I'll see if I can sort that out. But Adam Baffey with Tyler Maxson, and Tyler, we've got Peter Van Gool starting on the pole. Should be a good one, this one.
Yeah, should be a very good race. I'll try to run you through the grid order here. Peter Van Gool on the pole alongside Adam Delmont. Benjamin Mias and Scott Malcolm make up row 2. Mikey Key and Billy Rose, row 3. Dale Benson in 7th. Addie Maxwell in 8th. Jamie Ares in 10th. David Hampson, and away they go. Here off the line, Peter Van Gool will get it down into turn 1. Yes, he will. He will hang on to the lead through turn 1 now. As they work their way through, as the sun is starting to set here in Okayama, we're looking 3 and 4 wide behind.
Yeah, very close in the early going, on the way now towards the hairpin before the back straight. This is where we saw plenty of slipstreaming in the early going in races 1 and 2. But here it's Van Gool that continues to lead. Delmont, the race 1 winner, in 2nd. And it's Mias 3rd, Malcolm 4th, Key 5th, Rose 6th. And then Maxwell after that. And everybody else you can hear smashing. Don't know what's going on there, but it looks like we have got the overlay back. And going down the back straight, it's anybody's guess what is going on. Here we go.
As that all kicks off down the back straightaway, I believe that was Rizzo in the Simlabs car that ended up having that incident. He's dropped down quite a bit of places, but it will be Adam Delmont that will take the lead, but Peter Van Gool will go back down his inside, and they're going to be 2 by 2 now as they head through the very tight left-hander, and I believe it will be Van Gool. Mias looking all over the place behind, and I believe it will be Van Gool as they head out. No, actually Delmont's able to keep it down the inside, so is he going to be able to get the move done here on the exit? Van Gool's going to still try to hang it there. He's got a long way around to go. It's 2 right-handers back-to-back, so I believe that Van Gool will no, he won't actually. Yes, he will just slot up in to 2nd place. So Peter Van Gool now a little bit wide there from Adam Delmont, so we'll see how that plays out for him there.
Over line to complete the first lap, then it's Van Gool that leads, Delmont in 2nd. 3rd is Mias, then it's Ayres, Malcolm, then it's Christian Rose, not Christian Rose, it's Billy Rose, then it's Maxwell, Hampson, Pagnan, and then it's McCarran running at the top 10. Something's happened in the first corner, and it's a big one. It's quite a few cars around. That's Ash Beard and the Excite Racing car. There's another one there too. That's Jack Ashton. Result Clothing's David Ayres has gained quite a few places too. Stuart Dick is involved in this mess as well. Let's see if we can find where this all started. This might, as something else kicks off going down the front straight. Let's have a look at what happened then. This is looking at Mikey Key in the clothing car. Oh, so
Just gets collected.
Yeah, the Automet car gets involved there. Bang goes 37 into the side of him. That was 37. That was Dale Bennison. He gets going. Somehow he avoids the car. Oh no, the car's toast. I was going to say, it looked like for a moment he was going to be able to get the car going, but no, definitely not. Here we go then. Onto the short straight up towards the hairpin. It's still Van Gool leading. Here's a look at the positions that have been gained or lost. I believe that is all wrong, so don't look too much into that. But I can tell you what is right, and it's these intervals. It's Delmont 4 tenths of a second behind. Then it's Mias. Then it's Ayres. Then it's Malcolm, Hampson, and then it's Maxwell, Rose, Pagnan, and then it's McCarran, Chris Carstensen, Franks, Murray, Holmes, Plowman, Stevens, Urson, McNally, Summers and Cooper rounding out the top 20.
Yes, that is a pretty close top 20, to be honest with you. Everyone pretty much within a second. A maximum I'm seeing is 2.1 seconds back. So we're not seeing too many people too separated out. At least the top 4 here all separated by just 9 tenths of a second. But Peter Van Gool now is going to be on the outside of Delmont. Delmont's trying him. He's going to have the long way around, though, into the next left-hander, and he's not going to be able to get the move done. Van Gool stays in the lead as they head through now the fast S's.
Going into the hairpin and the right-hander, look at Delmont. He really wants this up the inside through the right-hander onto the back straight. I believe we're on lap 3, not too sure. It might be on lap 4, actually, but here we go. Delmont on the inside. On the outside is Peter Van Gool, who's done pretty well in the early stages to maintain his advantage. Now up the inside goes Delmont. He's going to be under pressure from Jamie Ayres here.
Is trying to take it around the outside. He's not going to be able to get that move done. They all will just slot back in line here for this little tight section. We'll see if he can make a move going down into the first of the hairpins. As you're going to hear there, you see Van Gool, I believe, lose a little bit of speed. So now he's going to have to try to defend from Delmon. If he wants a chance at it down into this corner, he will keep the car underneath him, and you can just see he's all over the place, and Delmon is just more planted right now. So you can see Peter Van Gool just kind of all over the place trying to hold that position from Adam Delmon. Jamie Ayers, though, is just right up on the back of Delmon, so he may be trying to look for a move.
Good about this going onto the front straight. Delmont immediately cuts to the right-hand side. Over the line they go. It's nose to tail for the top four, really. Look at Delmont. Almost a dummy getting sold there into the first corner, but Van Gool is able to just about hold on. And now Jamie Ayres, he really fancies his chances of maybe gate crashing the top two. He tried to get the move done around the outside there, but nothing comes of it. And after that, it's Ben Mears behind. And let's have a look at some of the other battles going on here. This is Scott Malcolm. We've got Andy Maxwell. We've got Nick McCarron here as well. Car 2 in the SimLab entry, doing pretty well.
As they make their way now through the long right-hander that leads you on to one of the most important straightaways on the entire racetrack. You can see that battle kicking off there for the lead right now as they go 2 by 2. It just goes off your screen there, but there we go. Delmon down the inside of Van Gool. Ayres is going to try to go with him, but I believe it is going to be Van Gool that will hold on to the move, and Delmon goes swooping around the outside, and he will take over first position.
Just when it looked like it was going to be demoted down to third place, it's him back into the lead. Delmont, the race 1 winner, back at the front again. Lap 4 of 9, so approaching half race distance. In fact, we're halfway around lap 4, so it is half race distance. And then further back in the field, you can just look at the intervals. You can see how close everybody is. Delmont, Van Gool, Ayres, all in the same shot. Here is a battle that's going on, and it involves one of Delmont's teammates, Adam McNally. He is involved in a scrap here between Charlie Summers. Then it's Kip Stevens just in front of him, who did pretty well in race 2. Got a podium up sideways there by Summers. Very nearly lost the car. Nearly went into that tyre barrier on the inside. Then it's Lorne Murray just in front. Then it's Martin Plowman. And just look at everybody on the front straight. Tyler, everyone's got their own scrap. It's brilliant.
Yeah, everybody looking for a little base of real estate as they go down into turn number 1 now. I believe that will be Rose who will get the position done. But I believe that is Holmes trying to go right on the outside. So yeah, Holmes will retain that position. So he will stay up in 11th. But Billy Rose is down 6 spots. So he has got to try to get some spots back if he wants to even get up to a starting position. So you can see Billy Rose looking pretty much all over the place. He's going to try that high line, but here we go down the back straightaway now. It's all kicking off. Ayres and Van Gool on the right-hand side, Delmon on the left. He's going to try to block there, and Ayres, you can see, just looking to see which one he thinks is going to be better. And right now, I believe it's going to be Delmon, but they are going to be side by side off the corner. If Van Gool can try it down to the inside, they are going to be very close and a little bit of contact, but they do keep it in line. But it will be Delmon that will retain the lead. Van Gool in second, Ayres third, Mears fourth, and Hampson in fifth. That is your 5-car battle here up front. And Ayres now moves up into the P2, so he is fancying his chances at taking on Delmon.
SimLab passing SimLab, and it's Ayres up into second. The Welshman, Pierre Van Gool, the Dutchman, down to third place. And just when it looked like Adam Delmont was going to get passed up the inside there, going into that left-hander, Adam Delmont responds, and off the circuit goes Pierre Van Gool as a result. Onto the front straight we go. Van Gool pretty much keeping it to the racing line. And now into the first corner again. Lap 6 of 9, 2/3 distance here in the BSR MX5 Pro Cup on Tuesday nights here on the iRacing Esports Network. Through the left-hander we go, and you can see Pierre Van Gool taking a much tighter line that time, maybe even losing a bit of time as a result, and it allows his other SimLab teammates to close in even more as well, of Dave Hampson. So this is going to be pretty interesting. It's also pretty close here between Andy Maxwell, Brian Holmes, Nick McCarron. We were just talking about this scrap earlier, and in the background it's all pretty chaotic too. with the likes of Billy Rose, Lorne Murray, Adam McNally and Charlie Summers all fighting over the same bit of real estate. Just look at them all coming over the top of the hill. It's crazy here in the BSR MX5 Pro Cup. 2x2, wherever you look. On the inside it's number 74 Scott Malcolm, but round the outside, swooping round the outside, is going to be Nils Carstensen. He's up to 7th place now in the Swift Cooper Esports car.
Yeah, so he's now moving up some more places, and now one thing I noticed here, SimLab is now 2, 3, and 4, so they're gonna be coming in forced for Adam Delmon. But yeah, just like you said, Neil Carstensen in the Swift Cooper Esports car now up into the 7th place, so he's got quite a bit of a gap now to catch up if he wants a chance. And now Brian Holmes is just behind him in the number 58 Excite Racing car. So he's also just going to be trying to get with him and try to close that 6-second gap, I believe it is, 5-6 second gap to Mias in the front of him. So he's got quite a bit of a gap to catch if he wants to catch up to that front group of 6 now that it has become.
It's remarkable, this group, and we've still got another race to go after this one. With a reverse grid to look forward to there too. Billy Rose here, he's scrapping away in the car 444 with number 86 Martin Plowman. Plowman on the inside, as well as the Excite Racing car of Adam McNally going through the first corner. Great duel this between these guys, and just enough room for the Northern Lights Racing car to pull ahead. Still nose to tail at the front. You can see at the top of your screen on the timing tower just a tenth of a second between Delmont and Ayres, and in fact it's less than that. What can Pierre Van Gool do? He was fighting for the lead this time a couple of laps ago. Let's see if he can get it done here. Into the first corner, into the hairpin I should say. It's going to be Jamie Ayres that gets it done, but he runs a bit wide. Not able to use the camera to his advantage. And it's going to be Adam Delmont that regains the lead for now.
You can see Jeremy Ayres just going a little bit defensive into the next left-hander. He doesn't want his teammate now to get a good run on him, but you can see Hampson there all over on the exit. That's going to give Pegan a nice look down his inside. He will make that move stick. So now it is SimLabs 2 and 3 with Dave Hampson back in 5th. So if these guys want to get together, this is definitely the time to do it, as we're just about working through lap 7, coming on to lap 8 as we head onto the front straightaway now. Adam Delmon will take 2 laps to go this time by.
2 to go. When we get back to the line, it's going to be the white flag. Delmont is putting up a resolute defence at the front. If anything, he's got a tougher assignment than the one he had in race 1, where he was surrounded by cars that qualified in the same positions as him. Lap 8 then, 0.3 of a second between them. That'll probably get eradicated down to nothing by the time we get to the back straight. Close battle going on again. This is McCarron versus Scott Malcolm in the fight for 9th and 10th. And just you can see in the background there, that's also kicking off between Kip Stevens and Andy Maxwell.
So that 3-car train as they'll work their way into the long sweeping corner, as it looks like Plowman's going to look down to the inside of Malcolm now. Plowman up into 10th, but Malcolm will have the momentum around the outside and maybe make that work. But McNally's now going to look down the inside in the Excite Racing car. So now they're going to be 2 by 2. Malcolm's going to be on the outside. I believe McNally is the best of the run of them, though, as I believe they're going to go 3 wide now.
Just looking quickly there at what's going on for the lead. It's as you were. It's still Delmont, then it's Ayres, and it's Van Gool. Up the inside goes Malcolm. Sorry, up the inside goes Plowman, I should say, on Malcolm. And it results in the car on the inside, the Fury Motorsports car, sorry, Fury Sim Sport car, getting spun. Let's see if he can do a spin turn and rejoin safely. He can, but he's down in 25th place. Steve Hefford here in 15th. He's now got Lorne Murray and Alex Sherney, the race 2 winner for company. Also in the mix is Charlie Summers, Billy Rose and Kip Stevens there at the very front of this insane scrap that's going on. They're now going through the right-hander, the slowest part of the circuit really. And now on the run back to the start-finish line to get the white flag. Adam Delmont versus Jamie Ayres for the win. Final lap of the race, and all bets are off in terms of winning this one. Look at the run that Jamie Ayres gets off the first corner, but he just can't get by. He's going to try and get it done around the outside if there's grip out there. Doesn't look like there is, but the SimLab car definitely wants this win. We've already had Excite Racing take a win today, so too for Swift Cooper Esports. Is it going to be race 3 where we see SimLab take the mantle?
think that there definitely is a possibility. You can see right now SimLabs 2, 3, and 5, so they definitely have the force in numbers here. But Van Gool is now going to look to the inside of Ares, and Ares is going to squeeze him onto the grass. That means Van Gool is now going to lose a lot of momentum and a lot of time now. So he's dropped now back down to 4th. Pigman in the Swift Cooper Esports car is now to 3rd, and look at Jamie Ez looking around the outside of Adam Delmont as they go down to the corner. Contact again. Ayers is going to go wide, and that's going to allow Pieman back down the inside, and he will move up another spot as he's now going to try to hold it around the outside of Adam Delmont. So Piggin could go in just a span of a few corners. Oh, and Jamie Ez is around. So those two all kicking off here on the final lap.
Still half a lap to go for Marcello Pagnin to potentially get the win here in the Swift Cooper Esports car. Adam Delmont, the winner of race 1. It's the top 2 of race 1. At it again, Alex Journey. Something's happened to the race 2 winner. He is tumbling down the order. Maybe a DQ. Not too sure. Going into the final corner then. He already won race 1. He's going to win race 3 unless something really dramatic happens. He's aced the final corner, and it's going to be Adam Delmont yet again that wins here at Okayama. Marcello Pagnin is going to get 2nd. Peter Van Gool just about finishes in 3rd. With 3 SimLab cars all chasing down Adam Delmont, it's remarkable that none of them were able to dethrone the Excite Racing car. Over the line is very close between Charlie Summers and Kip Stevens. Over the line they go. It was neck and neck, but I think it was Stevens that got it by just about an inch. Luke Cooper and Andy Maxwell very close as well, just a tenth of a second in between those two. And more cars coming across the line now, but what a crazy final lap that was, and it was just about Adam Delmont that got it done there.
Yeah, nice job there by Adam Delmont. That just kind of shows the level of skill that driver has. He's such a great driver. In the fact that he can hold off 3 drivers, 3 SimLabs drivers, all going for that top spot, and he was just able to hold off them at a track like this, where the draft is just worth so much here, because it has such long straightaways. It's remarkable that he was able to hold on to the race win, so nice job by him. Pagnin moves up 18 spots to come home in 2nd in the Swift Cooper Esports car, and he moved up 3 spots, I believe, 3 spots, in just a span of a few corners, just by everything kicking off with the rest of the field.
What a race, and I think that is everybody finished, so we can get the race results up. We've still got one more to go, of course. Race victory for Adam Delmont, then Marcello Pagnin finishing in 2nd. 3rd for Peter Van Gool and Dave Hampson 4th. Ben Mears, we didn't really mention him, the top AM driver, finishing in 5th. Then Brian Holmes in 6th. 7th for Nils Carstensen. Then it's Jamie Ayres, Nick McCarron, then it's Alan McNally rounding out the top 10. Kip Stevens finishing 11th, then Charlie Summers in 12th. Scott Malcolm, 2nd highest Pro-Am in 13th. Then it's Billy Rose in 14th. Steve Hefford, P15. Alex Sherney in 16th. Then it's Ash Beard, then Lorne Murray after that. Then it's Gregory Ranks, Andy Maxwell in 20th. 21st place for Luke Cooper, then Sharon Ursum, then Jack Ashton, Max Wright, Martin Plowman, James McRitchie as Adam Delmont begins the celebrations on the front straight. Then it's Rob Graham, and then it's Michael Wortman. Then it's Michael Barry, Craig Cameron, Carl Jacquelet, Cesare Rizzo, then David Ayres, and then Dale Bennison, Stuart Dick, Carl Hardy 1 lap down, and then after that it's Alex Perkis, Joe McDonald, Mikey Key, Liam Silkston, and Tyler Vickery 9 laps down, Roy Verke, Craig Jones and Josh Rayfield all involved in some of the mess going on the opening lap. And it does mean if we do get a full -1, it will be Stuart Dick on the pole, but we'll wait and see what the case is going to be for that as we get the reverse grid up now to spin the wheel for the final race.
So we'll see what goes on here.
There we go. It's 35, which is Stuart Dick. Carl Hardy will be really annoyed on that. It's going to be Dick on the pole, then it's Bennison 2nd, then it's David Ayres, then Cesare Rizzo in 4th, and Carl Jacquelet going to be starting in 5th for the final race. So that's how things are shaping up, and we'll be back after the break here on the iRacing Esports Network when we get set for the final race of the day here in the BSR MX5 Cup at Okayama in Japan.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Well, the sun's just beginning to set, or has set here at Okayama, and we're getting set for the final race of the evening in the BSR MX5 Pro Series here on the iRacing Esports Network. Adam Bath here with Tyler Maxson for the final race, and looking at the grid, here it is. I don't think that is the grid, actually. Let's try that again. I think it's Stuart Dick starting on the pole. There we go. It's Dale Bennison starting in second. Then it's David Ayres third, Cesare Rizzo in fourth, Carl Jacquelet in fifth, Craig Cameron in sixth, Michael Barry seventh, 8th, Mike Waterman, I should say, then Rob Graham 9th, and James McRitchie rounding out the top 10. Adam Bath here with Tyler Maxson again. And Tyler, just before we get going, can you pick a winner out of any of these drivers?
To be honest with you, there's no way to pick a winner in this series. Anything that can happen. 4 red lights, 5 red lights, and they are go. And just like I was saying, everyone gets a pretty decent start, but it's really hard to pick a winner in this series because there's so many things that can happen. But Dick gets a nice start from the pole over Bennison. Reese now up into second place. So he has moved up one spot as he gets very sideways there. And he's off into the wall. And that is Reese off into the wall. So he has had trouble in many, many races tonight. He hasn't had a super clean race. We see Rob Graham really far off the racetrack there. He's going to lose some positions now, as they all are going to go 3, 4, and maybe even 5 wide.
Oh, it's kicking off again here. There's Josh Rayfield. He's had a nightmare evening. Don't know if he actually made it onto the grid for race 2. Max Wright is down the order too. Lorne Murray, Josh Rayfield take back to the pits. More cars are wrecking on the exit, the hairpin. That was Peter Van Gool, one of the guys that was doing one in race 2. Sorry, in race 3. Plenty of races for us to keep an eye on here tonight. But as we go through the hairpin, it's Stuart Dick that's got a healthy advantage in the early going. It's someone spun on the entry into the hairpin. This is number 35. That is Luke Cooper. The Swift Cooper Esports car is around and he's trying to get going and just about avoids collecting Cesare Rizzo. He's trying to regain a place in the field after his opening corner where he got spun out. But here we go. And what an opportunity for Stuart Dick, Tyler, because he's got about 2.4 second advantage. No one else is anywhere near him as he comes around to complete the first lap.
Yeah, he's got an absolutely dream start here. He's got just about a 2.6 second advantage now over Craig Cameron, Dave Benson, and Michael Wharton. McRitchie, that is your top 5. They're all pretty much in a single file line, as now they're going to start fanning out down the front straightaway, and it's going to be, I couldn't quite see who that was there, but I believe it's McRitchie moving up to several positions there. Craig Cameron still holding on to second as they work their way now through turn 2, and believe, yeah. So that is going to be McRicci now down the inside of the number 22. Asymmetric car as they come out of the... Just drawing a blank there. As they come out of the long sweeping right-hander down the back straightaway now. He's going to try to close down on Craig Cameron. He's got just about 0.8 of a second. He's got the draft, though, and he's got Ashton right behind him, plowing behind him. Benson, that is your top 6. Wortman is the bat into that group.
And incidentally, that's 2 asymmetric cars inside the top 3. So it could be a fantastic evening for them if McRicci can get into second place and try and get by Craig Cameron. We haven't seen too many of the Northern Lights racing cars up in the top 10 tonight. So it'll be good to see if Craig Cameron can maintain it. He is also a Pro-Am driver too, so it'll be good for his points tally. And if you look at the top 12, the majority of them, I'm just doing some quick maths here, yeah, the majority of them are Pro-Am drivers, so they'll all be eager to get some points on the board. Biggest mover so far in the field is 18 places gained for the man who finished second in race 3, and that is Marcello Pagno. He's up to 16th place. 17 places gained for Perkis, 14 for Carstensen. So quite a few drivers making some early gains here as McRicci has to defend from Ashton going into turn 1.
Yeah, McRicci having to defend just a little bit now. That is going to cost him a little bit of time to Greg Cameron. That gap is at 0.4 of a second. I think if guys can just keep it in a line right now, they will start to reel in Stuart Dick in the front as he's just at about a 2.7 second advantage right now. So these guys really need to start working together if they want a chance at claiming those top spot tonight, because if they keep on battling like they are, Stuart Dick is just going to continue to walk away from the field.
Here is Alex Sherney. He's got a bit of front end damage. He's probably had to get the bumper, the chrome horn out to try and gain as many places as he can. Just a bit further up the road, you can see here we've got a proper illumination, flying formation here of Niels Carstensen, Sharon Ursum. We've also got Rob Graham in here too for good measure. We've got Gregory Franks in the Automatic Not Kill car 2. The Belgian up the inside and is through up into 9th. Michael Barry down to 10th. Then it's Niels Carstensen, 18 places gained for him. He's up there trying to vie for a spot in the top 10. And he's only 1 place away from it at the moment. These 2, or these 3 or 4, about 1.4 seconds away from Gregory Franks, who's in P9. And a bit further up the road, Martin Plowman and Ashton are fighting over the final spot on the podium as James McRicci is now through into second place. We didn't see how that happened. So let's see if we can track that down and see how that move for second place happened. Craig Cameron is down to 5th place after all this. Let's see what happened to the Northern Lights racing car, Tyler, as we look at the replay.
So just watching the replay there, Plowman down the inside.
It looked like it already happened by this point, hadn't it?
Yeah. So I believe it already happened by this point.
This might tell us now. This is on the back straight. Craig Cameron's on the outside here, so it looks like it's just going to be a straightforward move up the inside into the hairpin.
Yes, just a very straightforward move up the inside into the hairpin. McRicci moves up into second place, but that is all they're doing right now, is allowing. And if we go jump back live here soon, then you will see they are just going to go side by side now. So James McRicci, now he's got Ashton down. Is it Jack Ashton down his inside? Ashton will make the move up. We'll see if he can hold on to it down into the hairpin. But all these guys are doing is just allowing Stuart Dick just to walk away from the rest of the field. Yeah,
no, we're already halfway through this race, and the gap is 2.8 seconds. Problem for Niels Carstensen. He's dropped down the order like a literal stone. Marcello Pagnon's gone. Could be a DQ. He has literally vanished, and that could be the end of his day, the end of his evening. What about Niels Carstensen? I was just mentioning him. He is all the way down in 28th place. Let's see if I can find out what happened to him, actually. This might explain things. Here is a replay. Here he is on the inside of your shot. Car 50 on his way towards the hairpin. Are we going to see an Automatic Not Kill car fly up the inside and clatter into him? We do, but I think that the German brought that on himself, really. I think he moved across, but the question is whether the Automatic Not Kill car was up and alongside for that move to be potentially viable. That'll be something for the race organisers to potentially look at. My opinion counts for nothing here. neither of our opinions count for very much, I don't think. But lap 5 of 9. And the gap is steadily coming down, but with only 4 laps to go, plus the one we're on, Tyler, closing the gap at about 4 tenths of a second a lap is not going to be enough, I don't think, to get there before the end of the race.
No, I just don't think that's going to be enough. With just 4 laps to go, including the lap that we're on, that's just not going to be enough for him to catch up. Because, I mean, even if he really starts dropping off the pace, I think it would take more of something, maybe like a half a second a lap for him to be able to catch up. So if any Jack Ashton wants a chance to catch up to Stuart Dick, he's just going to have to put in some insane pace if he wants any sort of chance of closing that gap. But right now, if McRitchie can stay within striking distance of Ashton, I don't see them being able to catch up, because I just don't think that McRitchie's going to want to stay behind for much long in that asymmetric racing car. So I think he's going to try to get himself up into 2nd place, and especially if they really close up on his teammate, he is for sure going to try to maybe even put the move in to try to get a 1-2.
Now the gap's starting to come down. It's down to 1.5 seconds between Stuart Dick and Jack Ashton. Quite a lot taken out on this lap. Meanwhile, Alex Sherney is going into battle here with Rob Graham. The pro cars are starting to gate crash that sea of Pro-Am drivers that were filling out the rest of the top 10, and they're arriving now, and they're arriving in great quantity here. But still, there is a resolute 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quintet that is held up at Cameron, Wortman, Bennison, Vranks, and David Ayres in P9, so they're still doing a good job of keeping the pros at bay, and with 2/3 of the race gone, they might be able to keep them at bay for just a little bit longer. Here is another crazy scrap going down the front straight, a sea of headlights. Scott Malcolm, Kip Stevens, Luke Cooper, Ben Mears, Dave Hampson also in there for good measure too in the SimLab car, and and there's someone off in the background. That is there's a crash. It's Mike Barry that's gone off in the Result Clothing car. And he's going to get going again down in 30th place, and he might have picked up a bit of damage for good measure too, so not the best moment for him. And it looks like Gregory Vranks has just been passed by Michael Wortman. Either that or Gregory Vranks has just got past Dale Bennison, one of the two, but either way it's still 2x2 going down the back straight, Tyler.
Yeah, still 2x2 as they go down into the hairpin now. You'll see Jamie Ayres go by David Ayres, 2 different people, not the same driver. They're not related, I don't believe. But as Gregory goes up another position, so he will go up into 8th place, I believe. And Dale Bennison now will be left to fight for Jamie Ayres and try to keep him at bay behind him. As you can see, though, that next group of 3 is starting to close up. Can't quite tell exactly who that is, but that group of 3 is starting to close up to this battle.
Change for 2nd place as well, I think. Either that or a battle's taken place where the positions were changed briefly. It's James McRitchie that's now into 2nd place. He's now going to potentially lose it coming down the front straight as we start lap 7 now. It's Dick, then it's McRitchie, then it's Ashton. But is it going to be Ashton, then McRitchie after the first corner? James has the inside line. What about Jack? And what about Martin Plowman? He's got a fantastic run on. Oh, that's close, and that's contact, and around goes.
And that is Ashton around. So after running in P3, contact there, going to cause him to lose many places. Martin Plowman now up into 3rd place, and I kind of have to put the blame on Ashton for that one. He was squeezing him just a little bit too much, it looked like, from my perspective. But now they've got a 2.4 second gap now to catch up in just 2 laps, and as we'll try to get a replay of it here, as we head through turn 1 now. Nice blimp view there, and you can see, I mean, a little bit of meat in the middle there. Can't really honestly place the blame on anyone right now going through that one, but Ashton now in 8th place, so he's dropped down quite a few places. He lost 5 places due to that incident, so he has making a decent recovery up.
Dale Bennison all over the place going through that hairpin. He must have got tagged. What you can see is now that it's an asymmetric 1-2, that the gap is... Oh, and that's off. Off goes Dale Bennison. He's had an automatic not kill car that was involved as well. That was Rob Graham. He's just getting back onto the circuit. Nearly gets collected by... Oh, somebody's blown something. I heard a sound of someone crashing, but I'm not too sure who that was. In all fairness, just heard the bang. Not too sure what's happened as a result. Off the track goes James McRitchie through the final corner. He's got Martin Plowman for company, and it's going to be those two. They're fighting over second place as we get 2 laps to go. I don't think McRitchie's going to allow anything to happen to his teammate, so effectively Tyler McRitchie's going to just try and hold up Plowman for as long as he can so that the win is going to be assured.
Yeah, definitely. If he can manage to keep Plowman behind him, then that's pretty much just going to guarantee the win for Stuart Dick, unless he makes some sort of colossal mistake or blows the engine up. It's pretty much going to be a guaranteed win for him. So McRitchie now, you can just see, he's definitely playing teammate to Dick here, just trying to do everything that he possibly can to stay up ahead of Martin Plowman and not let him gain too much time on his teammate. So Martin Plowman, though, all over the back of him now. And you can see Stuart Dick even starting to lose some time, now down to 1.9 seconds. And Martin Plowman is going to try the outside here on McRitchie. I don't think that that's going to work. Yeah, he's just a little bit too far back to make that one work. But as they head now through the fast left-hander and up through another tighter little bit left-hander into the section of dual hairpins.
1.5 laps to go then. Oh, Jamie Ayres dropping down the order, and I reckon that could be another disqualification because he hasn't retired to the pits or anything, so that's him done for the day. Gap is gradually coming down at the front, but I don't think it's going to be enough to trouble them, to trouble Stuart Dick anyway. McRitchie's still doing a decent job of acting as a wingman right now for Martin Plowman as they come onto the front straight. As you can expect and as you can see from the timing tower, it's still anybody's guess who's going to get 15th. But as we get the white flag, McRitchie completely up against the white line on the inside. Now McRitchie is going to have to deal with the threat on the outside here for Martin Plowman. He's got the run around the outside. Has he got the overlap? No, he hasn't. He's going to have to cut to the outside. McRitchie moves across to cover that as well. Slides his way through the left-hander as Dick goes wide. That wasn't the best exit from James McRitchie though, and he could find himself under pressure here. You don't often see cars getting moves done here around the outside, but it might allow Plowman to get the move done before we get into the hairpin at the end of the back straight. This is going to be very close. And the battle for second, Tyler.
Yeah, definitely going to be a very close battle as we look here from the helicopter view as they head down the straightaway now. So I believe Martin Plowman is going to get that move done if he can just completely pull along, but we are in the braking zone now. So that is now just going to allow James McRitchie back down the inside. Plowman's got to hold it around the outside. He's semi there, but no, he's going to have to pull it back in. Yeah, so McRitchie, but McRitchie is wide and he is off the track. He will go through the dirt, and that is now going to allow Plowman up into P2, but that's also going to give James McRitchie kind of a more straighter line, actually, heading down into the first of the hairpin. So he will dive it down the inside there, see if he can't get it, but Plowman is going to have the inside for the next hairpin, and that is going to allow Plowman up into P2. So now the Fury SimSport driver makes his way up into P2, the asymmetric racing car down into P3. So as they round the final corner here, it will be Stuart Dick who will take the win in the last race of the night here for the BRS Pro Series Championship. Martin Plowman, it looks like, is going to come home in second. James McRitchie in third. So it's an asymmetric 1 and 3 here with Greg Cameron and Michael Wortman. That will be your top 5.
Well, what a result there. And yeah, top M for Craig Cameron. Rest of the cars coming across the line now. That is very close. Look at this. Oh, they don't go in the wall. One's DQ'd, one goes off. That's Alex Perkis. The car that was disqualified was the result clothing car driven by Scott Malcolm. Alex Perkis is the car going to be able to get across the line. Tell you what, let's see if Rizzo can close the gap before he gets to the line. I don't think he's going to be able to, unfortunately. But that is unfortunate for Scott Malcolm. Within a couple of meters of the line, he gets disqualified through contact by Alex Perkis. Michael Barry there coming across the line 25th. Who are we waiting for? We are waiting for these two, Dale Bennison and Charlie Summers, to cross the line. Here is Bennison here in the Year 1 racing car. He's going to come through the final corner now. And he's going to get 28th place. You can see there, passing Scott Malcolm, who's been DQ'd. And also going to benefit is Charlie Summers as they come to the line. Summers was having a good opening few races, but they have tailed off. And now that they've come across the line, that should be it. As Summers, wallop and bang and engine blown, and luckily he's across the line after that. So let's bring up the finishing order then from the final race of the evening as the final ebbs of daylight disappear here at Okayama. Race win for Stuart Dick. It wasn't a 1-2 in the end for Asymmetric, but 2 of the cars on the podium, they'll be happy with that. Martin Plowman starting a move at the beginning of the final lap, getting it done just before the final corner. Craig Cameron finishing in 4th, then Michael Wortman finishing in 5th, easy for me to say, put my teeth back in. Gregory Ranks finishing in 6th, a trio of Pro-Ams there. Then Jack Ashton, Alex Sherney, then it's a trio of Excite iRacing cars. It's Adam Delmont, the Race 1 and Race 3 winner, Brian Holmes and Adam McNally. Luke Cooper finishing in 12th, Nick McCarron 13th, Kip Stevens finishing in 14th place. Then it's Dave Hampson, Ben Mear, Sharon Ursum and David Ayres there in 18th. 19th for Max Wright, Niels Carstensen dropping down only all in the end to finish in 20th. Then Carl Hardy 21st. Alex Perkis finishing in 22nd. Cesare Rizzo, he started at the front of the field. Could have potentially won this race if it wasn't for getting spun out on the exit of the first corner. Then it's Andy Maxwell in 24th. Michael Barry and Mikey Key, the 2 teammates in the Resort Clothing outfit. No pun intended. Finishing in 25th and 26th. Liam Silkston in 27th. Then Dale Benison and Charlie Summers, the last car on the lead lap. Then Scott Malcolm DQ'd. A few others faced the same fate, just can't remember them. Then Roy Ververke, Jamie Ayres, Rob Graham, Lorne Murray, 2 teammates there out of the race. Steve Hefford, then Marcello Pagnon, the runner-up in race 3. Then Tyler Vickery, Ash Beard, Carl Jacquelet, Peter Van Gaal, Billy Rose, Joe McDonald and Josh Rayfield out very early on indeed. And that's how they all finished in the final race of the day. We do have a driver waiting to speak to us, and it's Billy Rose. He is in the interview room. Finished here in race 4 in... just looking through the time screen to find him actually. Finishing in 41st. So we can get a quick word from him and find out what happened to cause that. Let's get him in here. Billy, welcome.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the iRacing Esports Network. Finished 9 laps down in 41st in the final race. What happened?
Just that there was a crash up front. Actually got a pretty decent start. Had Charlie Summers as company down into turn 1 and come round, and I mean I could see some smoke, but I was pretty clear to what I could see, and I saw I believe it's Carl Jacquelet just kind of got spun round or something up front, and I thought he'd gone off to the right hand side, so I was following the rest of the pack, but Andy Maxwell got tapped on the back after rewatching the replay. He got tapped on the back and he came spinning into the front of it, like basically into the front of the pack, and I was one of the people sadly who got collected. The more damage was done by somebody who rear-ended me, and that was it really. Night over for that was a bit of a shame because I was hoping for the last race to just try and push through and have a good little race last race, because the last race for me is always quite enjoyable with the lights and the dark. I find myself in quite quick, but sadly not tonight.
That aside, race 1, race 2 and race 3, they weren't too bad for you really, apart from race 4.
Yeah, I mean race 2 was I was a little bit annoyed at myself with the start. I mean I jump started, which was a bit of a shame, and then got myself into a spin. But got in the pits, served my penalty, and got back out, and actually managed to catch the pack. And near the end, I managed to take 3 places on the final lap. So that was quite a nice little comeback. Race 1 was running really well, up in 15th, and stupidly got myself out of shape and binned it in the wall on the last lap. So I think a lot of the tonight has been kicking myself, to be honest with you. It's been a lot of self-inflicted instead of anybody else. So yeah, but that's racing. This is the way it goes. Just got to bounce back. But I managed to get some good points tonight. Championships looking okay. So I'm not too worried.
Just looking at the schedule, I believe we've got a week off next week, but after that we're off to Belle Isle in Detroit. So we go from here, Okayama, to a street circuit. It's going to be tough for the Mazda MX5s, I think, around there.
I think it'd be interesting. Tonight was this track was definitely better. Last week we were at Kota, and that track just that track doesn't work for this car at all. I think that was a lot of complaints from everybody. But yeah, we'll see. I think we'll see what happens next week, or the next race. Be interesting. Hopefully, it will suit the MX5s. It's a bit hit or miss with this series. Sometimes there are some, like tonight, the car suited very well to this track. Felt very comfortable, very confident going into the corners. But yeah, I think we'll go into next week as I always do, positively. Plus on Monday I've got the new series that I'm in with Chaz, the touring car, which is a load of fun. So it's nice to have that little bit of fun before the MX5s on the Tuesday night. So yeah, thinking positive into next week.
Great. Well, before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anyone?
Just for me, as always, it's always you guys at Apex Racing. You guys always do well, and esports always do a great job with the commentary and all the stuff behind the scenes. Also, big shout out to the team and all the sponsors, GTA Omega, a lot of them, just for being, basically being the reason that I'm here racing. And the rest of the boys, Alex, Craig, and Josh, the teammates. So yeah, team effort as always.
Great. Well, great to have you in the interview room, and yeah, well done on your efforts tonight, and we'll hopefully see you again in a couple of weeks when we're at Belle Isle.
Definitely. Have a nice evening, guys.
Thanks to Billy Rose for coming and speaking to us. We've got two Adams driving for the same team, waiting patiently in the interview room. One of them won twice today in race 1 and race 3. So we'll quickly we can actually drag both Adams in. Actually, that means we've got 3 Adams here in the interview room. We'll start off with Excite. Let me get the team name right first, actually. It's Excite iRacing's Adam Delmont. Adam, well done on the 2 wins today. Race 1 looked close, but race 3, you really had to work for that win.
Yeah, good evening, chaps. Yeah, it's been a good night. Race 3 was just epic. It was just defend all the way. Could see 3 SimLab drivers behind me, plus Marcelo catching. I was like, no. Just held on for dear life.
And bringing your teammate Adam McNally in here. Obviously, no win for you, but what were the 4 races like from your perspective?
Great. Can't complain. Had some excellent battles, some great finishes, 3 top 10s. Race 1 done what I was planning to do and just let the front 3 battle away. Keep the rest of the pack behind, but Charlie Summers done an excellent move on us into the first hairpin. I mean, had no answer for it. Drove around the outside of us. There was not a thing I could do. But great result for the team. Well done, Adam. 2 wins. I mean, we've took first, second, and third. Me, Brian, and Delmont in the top 3 drivers for the night. Teams took top team by 43 points over Swift Cooper. So good night for the team.
Bringing back to Adam Delmont briefly. What happened in the 4th race? Obviously, the first 3 went quite well for you. Of course, the reverse grid helped out a ton after race 2 with you finishing towards the rear and getting the reverse grid to get near the front there. But in race 4, what happened there?
Well, it was race 2. Me and Mick Barry had a slight collision in race 2. I'd already fought off after the reverse grid, and I was looking at a top 10. Had to limp the car around. Obviously, gave me a really good starting position for race 3. Obviously, race 4 was full reverse again. Started 35th, I believe it was. So started 35th and just worked my way through. Tried to get hold of Alex Journey on the last lap, but I was a bit optimistic. Tried to go around the outside and just edged out onto the grass, so I had to lift. Lost contact with him at that point and just had to settle in for 9th in race 4. But still, from 35th to 9th, still a good result, I think.
And Adam and Ali, you'll be. I'm guessing you'll be back here on Thursday for the BSR TC. Does racing in this series in the MX5 on a Tuesday give you anything useful that you can carry forward into Thursday's race?
Well, a little bit, learn the lines and that, but just have to bring the braking back a bit in the gear. Usually a gear lower in the corners as well. But there's a big difference between rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive. But it does help, like I said, with learning the track, learning the lines.
And finally, Adam Delmont, Belle Isle in 2 weeks, racing around the streets there. How are you going to find that?
Interesting because I've not even got the track yet. I don't think I've never raced it, so yeah, I shall need to get some practice laps in and see how we go.
Uh,
I did watch the last time you guys were going round there and watch some of the racing, so it looks difficult.
have we not got Virginia before that?
Have we? I'm looking at a BSRTC schedule. That's probably why.
It is. It's Virginia North.
Well, that's poor. Who do we have here? We had Billy Rose in just before we spoke to you. I've just told him that we're going to Bel Air in 2 weeks. Completely wrong,
We're
wrong
track.
wrong part of America there. He's going to be practicing that for weeks. But Virginia then, Virginia North in particular, I know the layout there. That's you've got the S's and then you've got that really uphill right-hander. Is it going to be tough to get overtakes done there?
Oh, it's a great track in the MX5. Honestly, one of the best tracks I think we visit in the MX5. I love it.
Yeah, car's definitely lively around there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Passes are hard.
Great. Well,
No, so I'm definitely looking forward to it.
well, which one of you wants to do the shout-outs before we let you go?
I like team boss.
I'll do it. It's all right. I'll get the list out. But I'd just like to say a big thank you to you for doing the broadcast. Look forward to watching it back. To all the lads who do all the work behind the scenes, all of our drivers who take part, to Excite Energy, our main sponsor, Motorsport Days Live, Pre-O Premature Baby Foundation, Race Mentor, ER12 Gaming. And that's it, thanks.
There we go.
Oh, sorry, look Sim24.
Oh, there we go. Got one more in.
One more.
That's great.
I'll just add to that. Thank you as well. Cheers for the broadcast. Great as ever, and I look forward to watching that back.
Great. Well, been a pleasure speaking to you guys as always, and yeah, all the best at Virginia next week or whenever we're heading there.
Right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And I'm Delmont and Adam McNally there. Tyler, final thoughts from you then as we round out a pretty chaotic evening of BSR MX5 action. I know you and me, we were drafted in for tonight, but we've had great evenings worth of entertainment here.
Yeah, definitely an amazing evening worth of entertainment. This track's definitely, like they were saying, such a great track for these MX5s, and definitely proved it with the kind of racing that we were seeing tonight. I saw quite a bit of hard racing in the front, as we're really used to in this BSR MX5 Pro Championship. So definitely an awesome race. Can't wait for Virginia to get on and watch that one, because definitely is an amazing track, and it will definitely suit these MX5s quite well, and I think we'll see a lot of great battling there as well.
Yeah, credit to the race organisers. They always pick tracks that are suited to the cars, and yeah, Virginia North right up the Mazda MX-5 street. So that is it from all of us here on the iRacing Esports Network. Make sure to check out all the other broadcasts that are taking place on this channel over the next week. I'll do a quick cheeky plug for the Apex Racing TV channel. Thursday, BSRTC heads to this very circuit, to Okayama in Japan, for 3 races there. Andrew Woodhouse will be in the commentary box for that one. I'm away at a Player of the Year awards night in Manchester, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to miss that one. But he will be in the commentary box nonetheless, I believe. I'll see who he'll be joined by. But that will be on Thursday night, just after 8 o'clock British summer time. But that's it from here at Okayama, from me and from Tyler Maxson here in Japan at the BSR MX5 Pro Series. Bye for now.